welcome to another Car Dealer Weekly here on the Car Sales Community Challenge. Just do a little introduction as there are some new subscribers in the recent weeks. My name is Anthony. I run a car dealership called Foster's Car Sales here in Newton Aycliffe in County Durham, where I tend to deal more of sub £5,000 market. So now that's out of the way, we'll get back to our usual programming, shall we? Exciting news, Chrysler Ypsilon sold that on Saturday. That was only for sale for 24 hours. So for those of you out there who seem unsure about a Chrysler Ypsilon, give them a go. They look incredible value for money and people just tend to like them for that more than anything. And the young lady that came and bought the car actually just loved how the car looked overall, which is great. And they weren't too bothered about the wheels. They didn't mention the wheels, but they just said, look, it's his first car, she probably is going to damage them anyway. So there you go. I ended the last weekly saying that I'm going to have some exciting news, and I do have some exciting news, some very exciting news for me, and that is TopDon have sent me out the Art Diag 600S to test for them and just give a review, which that's just exciting. I love TopDon. I use their products even before they reached out to me. I have the TopDon JS 2000, very good machine, and I also have the old style Art Diag 500, I believe it is. Looking forward to giving this a try, because from just powering it up and getting it set up in terms of updates and things like that, it just looks like a good piece of kit. So I'm very, very intrigued to see what this machine is like. I have used a great number, shall I say, of diagnostic machines, and they've varied from a £10 one you can get on eBay to ones that cost £4,000 in the main dealers. So I am very, very intrigued because I've heard some great stuff about this little machine, and not overly expensive either. Off the top of my head, I had a quick, I think you could pick one up for like £167. But I'll do a bit of shopping around and see if I can get some links as to make sure it's from a proper reputable dealer, and see if I can get a proper price when I do the review and all that. But I've seen you can get them probably a lot cheaper than that with a discount code and things like that. So an incredible piece of kit, and I'm so looking forward to testing it, and also very, very excited to be working with TopDon, because when I started this channel, when it was Budget Bangers, excuse me, I will be over this cold soon, I promise. So when I started this channel as Budget Bangers, one of the things that I was aiming for to be like, right, this channel is doing something, is to work with TopDon, because I just think the equipment they supply is top tier considering the value for money they are. So if you keep an eye out, there'll be a weekly, it won't be in a weekly video, it will be in one of my Wednesday videos. I am going to get back to doing them at some point, I do promise that. I've been extremely busy, and I'll be doing a review of this machine, giving my open and honest opinion. They've literally just sent me the machine out, not getting paid for anything or anything like that. So I'll give it a whirl, see what it's like, and give you my honest opinion about it. So that's great. Picking up two cars today as well. The Dacia Sandero and the Clio. So hopefully they get me back all right. I've got somebody helping me out as well to save me making multiple trips, which is great news. Other than that, not a great deal happening at the minute. I have got a viewing booked, as I said, later on today. I had a second viewing on Saturday as well. They were looking at the Yaris, potentially something that goes there, but I wasn't kind of getting that sort of vibe from them. I was a little bit disappointed on Saturday when they bought the Ypsilon, because originally they were coming to look at the Aveo and they asked about other cars I got, and then I put the Ypsilon on and they said they wanted to look at that as well. But we'll pop out to the Aveo and we'll talk about what they said. Right then, so as my regular viewers will know, this is the car in question. Now, what surprised me is they wrote it off straight away. Uh, not because of its looks, not because of condition, and believe it or not because of the old wheel trims, which people seem to always criticise this car for. The one thing that they actually criticised this car for and said that they weren't interested in it was because of running costs, which shocked me, if I'm being honest with you, because they were still interested in the Yaris, even though that is more road tax than that one. I do believe that is £210, that is £195. Now, it's not the end of the world, them sort of tax things for an old car. That's very, very much pretty standard. I think this is 165, and then so is that one. That's 265. You got a capture there. That's 20 quid. That's obviously 20 quid. So they are a little bit higher, but like 195 is a lot more common than what you would think in terms of road tax. A lot of the cars that I tend to sell tend to be 195. I am surprised that is a little bit higher. I will double check the numbers just to make sure I'm right on that, but I'm pretty sure I am. So yeah, running costs. Now I was thinking to myself, road tax isn't it a killer? In terms of fuel and things like that, it's a little 1.2. It's going to be good on fuel and things like that. So the only thing that kind of made me think is, was the insurance high on this? Or maybe it was just higher from the selection that they went for? I do not know. I'm not 100% on what sort of insurance group this is. Didn't really check because I was just like, it's not going to be a high insurance group, is it? So yeah, it kind of took me by surprise more than anything, because I was a bit taken back. I was like, if running costs on a Chevrolet Aveo aren't good enough, what are going to be good enough? You know what I mean? Yeah, I was just so taken back. I was disappointed as well, because when I took the viewing, I said to my wife, you know what? Really hope this car sells because it deserves it. Because what a canny little car it is. What a canny little car. It'll do somebody fantastic. It's low miles, 61,000, MOT service, things like that. And I took it home, and I was just like, I said to my wife, this car is a canny little car. It will do somebody the world of good. And it deserves it. It deserves somebody just to give it a chance more than anything. So I was a bit disappointed when they just wrote it off straight away. Because I don't know what to do. I've had a look, price wise, it's in the realms of where it should be. I think if I reduce it, is it going to do me any justice? This is like the minimum I tend to do my cars price wise. So if I was to reduce it, would that do it any justice? I don't think it would. And I mean, when you compare it next to the Yaris, which is for the same price, 2007, 119,000 miles, a 2009 was 61,000 miles. You know what I mean? Just crazy, isn't it? But anyway, we best get things sorted and get things moving. Hello, it's Tuesday, at least I think it is. So I was just sat here and I'm going through the paperwork of these two cars that I just picked up yesterday. And unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. So we'll start off with the Clio. Obviously, previous write-off. Last owner had it since the 12th of the 8th, 2012. That's when they acquired the vehicle. So when it was a year old. So basically, they've had it after they bought it after it got repaired from being written off, basically. Now, look at that. These are just the invoices. They are thick. And then, on top of that, you've got all the old MOT certificates. Absolutely heaving. there's things for service. They've kept everything from services to bulbs to everything. And then, this is the Sandero, and I mean, like, I'll try and show you this without giving away anyone's details. Yeah, so are they all main dealer? They're all main dealer. Yeah, we've got another main dealer, and then we've got more here, and then it's had a timing belt, and then we've got more here, and like they've even gone to the extent of, you know, putting in, they've had a full exhaust done, you know, they've had bits and pieces here, there and everywhere, and they've had a few bits. Yeah, so I'm absolutely gobsmacked with these two cars. Now the Dacia is a one owner car, so you would generally consider them to have good history, because if you're going to have a car from 2014 to 2025, so 11 years, you're going to look after it, aren't you? Obviously they've gone through an extent to 2008, and then they've gone, you know, not taking it to the dealers anymore, and then they've took it to the same garage. Its whole life after that, which is absolutely staggering. I mean, like, granted, the bits that aren't services have been written in, but they've said where they've been, and I dare say, I believe it, to be fair, because it's absolutely staggering. I mean, I'm absolutely blown away by these two cars. Usually Renaults, because the service books in the back of the manual, you do tend to struggle a little bit with getting MOT history, service history with them, because some people out there don't know it's back there. And then obviously you've got this one being right off. You can, as you can imagine, it doesn't have its own, it doesn't have any of its books or anything like that. But yeah, it's just like, somebody has really cared. Look, that is thick. Nice when you make some good buys like that, isn't it? The Clio is all sorted. I can't see nothing. Ginger people aren't cut out for this weather. But yeah, Clio's all done, all valeted up. I've just been here getting my photographs of it. Looks absolutely lovely, doesn't it? It's come up quite well. It's a very clean car, to be honest with you. MOT wise, it's wanted 2 bottom arms, a rear coil spring, and bulbs of some description. Can't remember exactly, but it wasn't anything major. Only advisory is the rear axle being corroded. It's just surface corrosion. But obviously this one, I've already taken a deposit on, so it's going to be done early for them as well, which is always a handy thing. And also, finally got some new window stickers as well. They're the little bits. Yeah, they're the little bits that make a difference. The amount of people that have mentioned the fact that I like to put my information in the back window just kind of gives them confidence in the fact that I am openly saying I provided this car. £102 for 200. I don't know what that works out in the maths world, you know, but worth every penny really. Maybe just could have got some cheaper. Works out roughly just under a quid a go, doesn't it, or thereabouts, which 200 will last me a while. Hopefully not too long, obviously, but quite pleased how this one has turned out. bet just by going off the sound of that you knew exactly what sort of car that was. It was a Golf. Says it all, doesn't it? But yeah, I need to get in touch with the customer, see when they want to come and pick this up. Probably tomorrow now, because end of the day, innit, you know. So I'm happy. I like it when they're like this. I like selling them in advance. It looks a lot better for social media as well when you do it that way. Yeah, we're gonna get this back, because I'm gonna have an early finish. First early finish for a while, I think. Sounds like a plan. So things are going well, apart from the mucky face and mucky hands. That's getting involved in things you shouldn't be getting involved in. Now, if you're in the motor trade and you say you don't get involved in things that you don't want to get involved in, sorry, I think you're lying, because we all do it. Hope you can hear me. Bit windy, but can't be bothered to go and get my mic. I'm about ready to go home. The Clio went yesterday. We part exchanged this little 2007 Nissan Micra, 98-ish thousand miles on it. Now, they told me this is probably another one of them cases, a bit like the Polo, where the person part exchanging it has actually undersold the car tremendously. She said she's had it at the garage, they've checked it over, they've said it's going to cost too much to put it right. So me thinking, you know, in my head, it's going to be knackered, isn't it? I've just had my eye over it. Not too bad at all. Maybe it's just some advisories, but it's a 2007 car. Maybe just get advised on the exhaust, and they're quite common for behind the driver's headlight by the engine mount. They get quite crusty there. Only a good few of them go through, but that's a little bit crusty, but it's still solid. I've gave it a good old and it's still done it. But yeah, so what I'm going to do with this one, because I've took it in part exchange, because of what I've ended up giving for it, I do feel a bit rotten when I do it, but it's got a nice healthy margin, which is like freaking rockin' horse shite, pardon my language. When you get cars like this, usually you're working on such fine margins with these cars. Like, you'll get them, you'll pay for them. By the time you got them prepped, you'll be lucky to make, let's say, £400-500. Two down the bottom there, perfect example of that. But this case, it's got really healthy margin. Now, 1495. I'm not going to stand here and lie to you. That is probably being a bit cheeky, but I don't know whether my regular viewers have noticed or not. I've gone from selling my cars under what Auto Trader recommended quite substantially to trying to squeeze every penny I can out of them, and that is with a good reason, because for the local sales in like my immediate area, I'm covering the warranty myself. I've took that plunge quite simply because I got sick of paying for a warranty company for people to still bring the cars back to me fix them. So I'm paying a warranty company, then I'm paying to fix them, because I am an absolute soft touch. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to squeeze every little bit I can out of them, while still offering great value. But I'm still just trying to maximise profits. That's why you get things like that, because I'm trying to maximise them profits, which is completely acceptable if you ask me. So yeah, this one, I'm not going to lie, yeah, it's probably a bit overpriced. In an ideal world, that there, 12.95-ish, maybe it's 13.95. So I'm not like, you know, I'm not. It's not £1,000 car, and I'm not asking for that. I mean, like, I could quite easily put an MOT on this, stick it on Facebook Marketplace, try and flip it for £1,000, and there. But look, you've got to try these things. Roll the dice every once in a while. There's been plenty of times I've put cars up for sale and I've gone, don't think I'm going to get that, and I've got it. So just try your luck. What's the worst that can happen? Them numbers aren't super glued in place, so they can quite easily come out. be changed. Plus 1495 is my minimum pricing that I work to, because I got sick. For one, getting people asking me for like £800 cars that I just never get. And also, I found my old minimum was £1,100. I found it was nigh on impossible to make profit at that price. That is why I stick to my guns so much, say like with the Yaris and the Aveo, is why I stick to my guns so much and do not reduce that price. Because if I drop lower than that, it's just, the profits are so low. Once upon a time, I would have done that no bother. I would have dropped the price and I would have got what I wanted for it, what somebody was willing to pay for it. So say like at my old premises, when I wasn't paying rent and things like that, they were just a share of the profits being paid. I could have $12,950 that car, and they would have gone out the door, because then there's things like prep bills that weren't going to be as substantial and things like that. But now, unfortunately, I have bigger prep bills. I also have rent, insurance, all that doodabs and whatnot. So unfortunately, that's how things like this just end up going from being a 1295 car to a 1495 car. And yeah, I think I could be wrong. More than likely I am. I think for an MOT, to get it roadworthy, you want a bottom arm, front disc and pads. That is it. I could quite easily do that myself. If you wanted to, the exhaust is being patched up here and there. It isn't the best. You could put a full exhaust on it, but I'm going to tell you now, that there will quite easily be £300-400 for a full exhaust system for that, and that kind of diminishes your profits. Cars like these, get them roadworthy. Try and minimise the advisories on them if you can, but get them roadworthy. That is the main thing for them. At the end of the day, somebody could use this. They could run about in it for a year or two and bin it off, and then they've got the money's worth out of it, haven't they? But what I drove it from here round the back of the building, so it was off the forecourt, and I drove it and I was like, this thing is as tight as a drum. I'm quite surprised I actually managed to find the bottom arm and the disc and pads, because the brakes were on point, the steering was on point, and like the bottom arm, the bushes dropped out, so you would have thought you would have heard something, felt something, but no, absolutely bang on. So yeah, and I mean, bodywork wise, it wants a touching on this corner. If you wanted to do that, and I mean, very, very slight bubbling on that front arch. Other than that, absolutely cock on. So why not? Is it being greedy? Probably. Not gonna lie to you. I mean, that car looks incredibly cheap next to that car, or you could say that car looks incredibly expensive next to that car, but that's a previous write-off. I'm going to do a video on this one, because this should be a good video. Probably is a car that many dealers in the world would tell you to stay away from, quite simply because category write-off, no report on it, and yeah, that's about it really. When I picked it up, it had a management light on it, so that there is what I'm going to use to test the Topton at Diag 600S. So we'll just see how we get on with that, because that there, I've already actually plugged it in, and I know what the management light is, but you know the effects of screen and things like that, you got to do it properly. You got to plug it in and things like that. So I have had a sneaky look. It wants a lambda sensor in it. So yeah, and while we're here as well, C1 all finished, up for sale. Painted the bottom of the bumper, looks sharp as a little button, that one. Interior's come up nice, it looks really well. So all being well, we'll keep these things moving forward, which is good. It's nice to get little part exchanges in. That means that I don't have to panic like a madman trying to replace stock. it's where it comes in handy. And then I've got things like the Alpha to sort out. I've got my Dacia to sort out. I've got my Megane to come back as well. So I've got plenty of stock. So it's kind of nice. You'll have a little cheapie coming just to kind of take the pressures off you for buying stock. And, oh my dear. I shouldn't be getting mucky. I shouldn't, but hey ho. Right then, so the Megane is back for its MOT, which is good. You know, has 12 months MOT with no advisories and has been serviced also. So I thought I'd run through what has been spent on that car. Boy, oh boy, lots of money. But it needs to be right, doesn't it? I could have maybe cheaped out on some stuff, but you know, there was things that it didn't need. One brake pipe failed, one was advised. It was advised on the wheel bearing that I heard. It was advised on its disc pads. It was advised on a couple of little bits here and there, but it was just like, they were stuff I was expecting to do anyway, so I just thought, you know what, we're just going to bite the bullet on this one. I got it cheap. It's got good margin in it. Hopefully by the end of it, it still has good margin in it. Excuse me. So what has been done to it? I'll just run through the garage's invoice as to what's been done to it. There. Replace engine oil and filter, top load levels, lights levels and pressures and things like that. 2 rear brake light bulbs, replace offside front and rear brake pipe, replace near side rear coil spring, replace offside rear handbrake cable, replace near side front to rear brake pipe, replace offside front wheel bearing and ABS sensor. I've also replaced near side front suspension arm, replace front discs and pads, replace near side front shocker, replace near side front stabilizer link. So I've got my calculator on my laptop here. So the total for that is 639.76, and he actually said he knocked me money off for that as well because he thought it was a bit dear, which is generous of him. Sorry, I'm in the middle of having me dinner and I've got something stuck and I'm dying, so you just bear with me a minute. Also, I've done bits to that prior, so there'll be £40 for the MOT, and then we'll go 151.30 for the catalytic converter, and then probably the biggest bargain of them all, £140 for the wheels, plus £30 to collect. Wow. And then you go plus the £638 to buy the car. That leaves me with a grand total, if I'm not missing it, oh wait there, yes I am, bought some tailored mats for it. That was a good decision. They were, if you give me a memento when I find it, they were, good internet, £13.49 each, bargain. Tailored mats, if you get a car that's got good mats in, don't waste your time. Really what you could do for the price of them is just go on eBay. Tailored mats, I use the same business every time because they do a great range of them. They're called Radio World on eBay. Give them a search. I will try and see if I can link their eBay page down below because the prices are great. They do all sorts. I've mainly just used them for tailored mats, but I can imagine they do other stuff as well. And they've got very good feedback, and they come very quick as well. Yeah, the packages, that is. But for a set of tailored mats for a McGann, £13.49. Not worth messing about with, is it? So, we're going to add that on. So, plus £13.49. That gives me a grand total that has been spent on that car of £1,652.55. Now, when I get this thing to work, in terms of selling it, 2195 is what that car will be going up for. Then if you take away that leaves a potential profit margin of £542.45. So when I was, well, it was a few minutes ago when I was talking to you yesterday about squeezing all the money out of them, you just got to do it. You have just got to do it, because when you're spending that sort of money on a car, and I'm only going to be making, I only pay myself 50% of the profits, and then the other 50% goes back into the business. So I'm probably only going to be paying myself 250 quid. And I've just remembered as well, take away £90 to have the bumper corner painted. 452.45. It's not great, it's a profit, isn't it? I'm not going to stand here and say that's not enough profit for me when you consider, all being well, it'll get sent out, and within the first 3 months, it hopefully won't go wrong. You can't make any guarantees on these things, but it's never stumbled, stuttered. They always tend to play up when you sell them to somebody. You can have them for months and never miss a beat, and then you'll sell them to somebody, and then all of a sudden everything will go wrong. But I am 95% confident that I probably won't hear from that car again, because when you prep them to this sort of level, you've just got to be like, you've got to be have that level of confidence. Or if that 5% there because it's an old car, you know what I mean? So it's a profit. I'm not going to sit here and whinge and say that it's not enough. It's not enough. You need thousands of pounds of margin in them. And, doing these cars isn't worth doing. Profit to profit. As long as there's money coming in, that's all that matters to me at the end of the day. As long as I get a bit of money in my pocket, and then the business gets some money in its pocket as well. Plus is better than a negative. So what I'm going to do now is, I've waffled on way too long as it is. I would like to apologise to some of you, because I know a lot of you like to see me kind of get involved with things like that. It's just been one of them weeks where I've just needed to crack on and get things done rather than filming them. So thank you all for watching. I will link everything that you need in the description down below: Facebook, Instagram, website, the eBay shop, which is closing down, and I'll try and get a link for Radio World as well to see if you can get yourself some nice tailored mats on there. And please do keep a lookout for my next Wednesday video. It will be the next Wednesday, and that will be on the Clio, where I am testing out the Topdon Art Diag 600S. Very excited, and thank you to Topdon for sending that out as well. Really appreciate it. And I do look forward to doing some more with them in the future. Very excited. So, as usual, thank you for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.